finally. Now that's over with. Yeah, it's, guess finally my turn, huh? And Sinclair sided with the gravitation of someone who's been bestowed with the most important mission of his life. Thinking back, even back in school, I used to daydream about becoming a teacher myself. I thought I could be good at it. Oh no. So I guess you could say that I'm pretty happy to be given an opportunity like this. I call my lesson the theory of self-overcoming. We have to accept that everyone stumbles at first, but we're always striving to be a better person than I was yesterday. Hey, but what if I like who I was yesterday more than the one that I am today? I guess that's okay. Everyone has their own unique potential, sleeping deep inside. That's true. So with everything that I've learned and experienced so far, let me teach you. Let me teach you how to not doubt your own capabilities. How to always shoot higher than you ever reached before. Hold on, you had me for a second there. But what's up with acting like you're an infinitely more enlightened person than I am? Of course, I have prepared a speaking class where you can learn how to speak with modesty too. Modesty? I never would have imagined Sinclair would be so into this. Yeah, too bad that he's so into it that he's not even listening to what Chinchun is actually saying. Anyways, following that, your company's, it seems that Silu has completed her review. Oh, I see. Now, how's everything going, everyone? Class preparations are going well? My courageous boss's special report! A drawing? I guess that's all. It was Sauda's impression upon taking a quick glance at Don, who was sobbing and cradling the shredded pieces of her lessons. Oh. Well, I guess it wasn't a complete bust at least. Sinclair's lesson plan survived. That's true. Miss Tigong, Miss Saudi, I've prepared a full 30-day worth of lesson plans. Would you like to take a look? But Sigong and Saudi weren't looking at the dozens of lesson plans that Sinclair presented so proudly before their eyes. They were looking away. Sigong especially was looking away with an unmistakable expression of pity. Why? So he doesn't know. Would you mind explaining this, Silu? I could not bring myself to tell him. Apologies. So, this young man has produced this entire sizable stacks of lesson plan all on his own. Through blood, sweat, and tears. I see. Weakness has found its way into your heart in the face of such earnest efforts. I understand. However, it has been decided that Sinclair will not be participating as one of Chun's teachers? What? Or should I call you Pupil Sinclair to be exact? Wait, there's gotta be a mistake, right? Isn't Chinchun supposed to be the pupil here? No, there hasn't really been any mistakes. My lord has specifically introduced that you are to learn from this as well. What? What? Seriously? Why? This isn't right. Guys, this isn't right. Now this looks like our proper classroom now. Yeah! It would have felt pretty dang empty with just Chinchun sitting there all on her own, don't you think? But she was the best teacher! And besides, I bet Sing is the resident expert on going to school, right? School was a luxury for me, you know? Yeah, maybe, but it doesn't mean that I ever wanted to go back to it! You should learn to be grateful. I don't dole out my teaching to just anyone. Don't forget we have to redo the whole lesson plan under their supervision as well. Otis, you always get on your soapbox and try to lecture everyone about something after every single battle anyways. So what's the difference? And you, Ishmael, you always get hyperfixated on something. Once you find something interesting, you never stop talking about it for 3 hours straight at least, and... I will ensure that you receive the best education that I can possibly provide, Sinclair. Oh god. Hold on, you sang! I thought we were the underdog duo here! Remember during the checkup when I said, we got this? We were going to get this together, right? The elevation painted a twisted picture of the true scale of strength, the sole measure of which erroneously relied entirely on our physical might. I shall not hesitate to impart knowledge for those who require education. Congratulations, my lady! You have officially found yourself a desk mate, which some would even call their besties nowadays, depending on the desk placements. What? We're just happy about it. Desk mates? Besties? What the heck does any of that mean? Citizen's eye widened with confusion, as though she just heard those words for the first time in her lives. I mean, considering that you always had to learn a lesson all on her lonesome, having someone who goes through the same trouble as oneself certainly will boost her morale. Sinclair, you should be honored by this opportunity. Look how happy she is. You're gonna enjoy that. When I first met her, she was 16. She explained to me that she didn't attend any school-like intuition. This is par for the course of children of Hong Yuan, who are raised for the purpose of becoming the next family hierarch. The reason being that school can be a perfect place to assassinate someone. So, deskmate and besties. Sinclair began to explain, seemingly resigned to the fact that he was essentially going back to school for a month with the other sinners as his teachers. If you can fight them, join them, Sinclair. It's getting a lot better that way. Usually sit next to each other and help one another out whenever trouble arises. A bestie might nudge the other awake when they doze off, share their homework with one another if one forgets to do theirs. They usually end up being included in the best memories of each other's school time and... Oh, I think she likes that. Oh, she likes that a lot! So not very important at all, huh? I think I got this on my own. I don't really need a bestie. You say that now, but wait until the end. The end! It may have come a few years late, but I'm moved that my lady finally has a chance to experience a normal school. Same here. I remember it like yesterday. Chin-chun would sit and watch other kids walk to school from a distance, tears welling up in her eyes. Hey! Oh, and that reminds me, one day, out of nowhere, she started saying something about eating from lunchbox with friends. I haven't had a clue as to how and where she even heard about it, but she snuck into the kitchen and prepared a bento? Oh wait, don't you guys have lesson plans to write? Come on, hurry up! 30 days are ticking down already. We only got 30 days, guys! Of course. Unfortunately, I have become quite occupied with another task of great importance, assisting Wei with indexing and reviewing various documents that are critical need of organization, like the 30-year plan thingy that she's so adamant about. Right? Probably. Thus, I must leave the lesson planning task to you two, Silu and Miss Saudi. Have you any thoughts on this matter? Slacker. What was that? I said nothing of the sort, Silu. Of course not. But she knows it. She just doesn't want to deal with the student thing. Not everyone is made for a teacher. Not everyone is made for... What the hell is that? What is that icon? Oh, it doesn't even cost energy. 30 days of class. Special lecture hall. Silo and Saudi appear to have aged several years overnight. Oh no, their face sunken and swallowed. Oh, finally! After referring to idiosynchronization and various statistic data available to us regarding each of the sinners, we have managed to come up with an operative curriculum. I see. She doesn't even want to speak anymore. Give her a coffee! Give the lady her coffee! Silo? Apologies. Sleep deprivation has bereft me of clear mind. The path of educators is truly a grueling one. Marching to battle would be much easier than that. Still, thanks to Mr. Chiachu's methodology that you shared, we did manage to find a way to make this quite efficient. Efficient, you say? To be a true family hierarch, there are dozens, hundreds of virtues one must understand and master. However, to do so in 30 days as promised is an implausible effort. Thus, we have categorized the countless virtues into 3 super categories. And they are called... I can't even read that. Aha! And what are these supposed to be? C. Yong and Ren. C. Wisdom. The wise lose neither people nor words. To hold one's silence in need of speech shall cost them people. To speak in need of silence shall cost them the words. Well, a reasonable sequence of logic. Let's see. Yong. Courage. The ability to overcome your fears. To act decisively. Have too much of it and risk becoming a burden. Have too little of it and risk becoming a craven. It needs harmony and balance. So how far are we allowed to go with corporeal punishments again? I recall no instance of any discussion regarding corporeal punishments here. And Ren, humanity. It is the benevolence of the heart, the compass of behavior, that dictates respect towards every human. Clearly most of the facilities around the school are severely lacking in all 3 of these criteria. Just how do you think they're able to teach the students anything like that? Yeah, like a certain someone who needs a lesson in Ren. I already forgot that. But are you sure that I'm in good hands here? Just what the heck am I supposed to learn here? Where's Wei? Mr. Wei and Mr. Gong are currently quite preoccupied with handling the monumental task of paperwork. Alright, Mr. Wei wanted me to deliver this message to you as well. Be strong, my lady. Wei! Despite her protestations, the 30 days of class commence. He's not there for you, but he's doing something that is far worse. You just don't realize it yet. Wait until you have to do it yourself. It's horrendous. There's nothing worse than paperwork. There's a reason why people avoid it. Oh god. Okay. Wait, they actually put that... How does this work? Spring cultivation. So it is a princess maker thing. So there's always a final test waiting for us. Okay, how can I change this? What's this? Mandatory class? Okay. I guess I can't really select anybody else than you sang today, because this is a tutorial thing. Alright, then have fun, you two. Resume classes? Yes. My name is Yiseng. That is all. The class I have prepared for you today is... I've already heard plenty about your mirror tech, alright? Which makes me wonder, going by the level of advancement in the technology, couldn't you have approached it from a different angle? You know how technology advancement usually goes, right? People invest for the sake of creation, only to have the invention inevitably warped into weapons of destruction instead, right? Indeed, you show much promise already. As you surmise now, the mirror has, in the past, almost been employed to shatter possibilities instead of reflecting them. I'm sure that is the angle that most others would have wanted to see happen. Removal of potential risk sounds much more palatable than potentiality itself, at least to some people after all. Correct. Yet destruction was a word that bore too much suffering for my heart. My sole egress from it was abandonment of my quantum fellows and my life's work, making myself a fugitive from the past. How did you bring yourself to just abandon it all? Well, you didn't have a choice, otherwise you would have been crushed by it. I conversed. With who? With myself, that lies within me. As you are aware, the mirror's reflection extended beyond the veil of your own reality. It reflects the potentialities, the latent strength, and the world itself. Yet even amongst them, the reflection of great importance is that of the self. Let not the innumerous world of the mirror enhances or rather enchant your gaze. First, one must direct their studies inwards and reflect upon themselves. And we're back to the mirror teaching! I can see the mirror right there! I learned how to be more true to myself by looking into the mirror. Okay, for C, Yong 18 Ren. Ren was humanity, C was wisdom, Yong was courage, right? I need to keep that in mind. And Sinclair gains the exact same amount of stats. Okay. Now, if you're prepared to explain what you see in the mirror, you need be hasty about it. For some reason, Shinshun appears to hesitate before the mirror. Hey, you know, it's been a while since I looked into the mirror for so long. My lady, do you recall Sun Tsen, the Shi family who contracted you for a meeting? Oh yeah, the guy who said that he was going to show me a precious flower that bloomed only at night. I remember that you were vehemently against me going out there, so I stayed inside. I wonder what kind of flower he was going to show me. Don't tell me that you were actually looking forward to meeting him, my lady. Of course not. You were wise to stay inside. It was revealed that you weren't the only person who was invited, my lady. The vile man had hired a group of assassins to ambush the meeting spot, and would have been waiting there to spring the trap had you not gone. But apparently, he was outplayed and had his limbs and head torn off as punishment. What a relief, isn't it? I guess it is. I'm glad I didn't go by. I guess you're right. If only you still had the root branch under your control, then... Stop it! We agreed to move on from that, remember? We don't talk about that anymore. I was brushing my hair and looked into the mirror as we were talking, but I realized that I no longer recognized the girl in the mirror. I don't know why, but I found it so hard to meet her eyes. But I brushed it off, because I had to. An experience like that was going to become a common occurrence anyways, and the family Hayek war was always looming on the horizon, a fate we could never escape. Perhaps what you felt then may have been shame, but it was paramount to face oneself nonetheless, nay, especially so if it was. And Sinclair, What do you see? I see... Well, I just see myself smiling. I don't really see what's so out of the ordinary about it. But it seems like Sinclair couldn't really bring himself to face the mirror at all. Because he too failed in his past. Not even sure if he's so proud about himself yet. He failed to defeat Chroma after all. He finally tried to fight back against her, but even then his strength just wasn't enough. Hey, after what we've just discussed, I think I understand something now. Now that I've had some quiet time looking at my reflection, I think I uncovered a part of myself that I've hidden away for a very long time. Oh, that's good. She's making progress. I had a very precious time learning to overcome my inner self. Okay, 27 Sen. How much do I need? 1,000. Ooh, okay. I better find those combos soon. I learned how to be more true to myself by looking into the mirror. No story? Guess not. Okay, so your Seng has been leveled up. That's good. Slash resistance up. Okay. Mandatory class of Dawn. Well, in that case, I'm gonna add Seng for the last slot. Because that way we can use up the morals. It's not good to get so much moral if I don't spend it as well. That just seems like a waste, Dawn. That seems like a waste. I should go for 2 Sengs instead. But well. So Dawn is the break character. That gives them time to breathe. It's good to know. Alright then, guys. This is true that the station of teaching is prone to impute one with sense of bashfulness. Sinclair and Yinchun both sat with a bit of apprehension as well. Which is understandable given that Saudi told him sometimes before the lesson has started that, some time ago, Otis, who'd been glaring daggers at Dawn for a good while, finally decided to voice their doubts at Saudi. Why her, of all things, right? So what is Dawn, that woman, supposed to teach the child? Have you not considered that the usual flipperance might only cause more trouble than it is worth? You worry too much about that, Otis. Which it may not look it, Dawn is extremely well versed in those adventurous tales. And why would any of that matter? Have you yourself considered that Fixer often appear when history is in the making? Now let us see. Dawn took a second to savor the moment, as though she had been preparing her whole life for this very moment, and continues. Amongst the greatest fixers whose honored names were engraved in history. Ah, verily, let us commence this lesson with the tale of Fixer Yua Fei. The tale begins in the year of... Oh my god, she's a history teacher. Maybe even a good one. I mean, we skip it, but maybe she is a good one. Are we done here? Just how can she continue to talk to such lengths like that? She's been going on for ages. Thus commenced the time to test thy dedication to this class, and the knowledge that should naturally come with it. It's time for a pop quiz, if thou wills it. What? When she even find the time to prepare all of this? Well, I can assure thee this is a quiz of entirely reasonable difficulties if thou hast paid attention in class. Worry thee not. Okay, but does this pop quiz even have prizes? Ah, but of course it has. I came prepared for such inquiries as well. For each correct answer, I shall bestow upon thee from the very treasure chest of mine. these precious fixer badges. Forsooth, I did not let a single day go by in which I did not polish each and every single one of them on 3 separate occasions at the very least. How many badges do you have? I don't know. I don't really want or rather need them. Hold thy applause, for there is a bonus reward for the victor, who by the end of this match carries the most badges. For thou shalt attain the role of protagonist in this theatrical play of my making, the Fixer's Chronicle of Food Fae. This is an opportunity of a lifetime! Theater? I'm still not really... Well, it's not doing anything for either of us, and... Oh ho ho! It's still a pretty useless reward, but if you're turning it into a competition, then I won't lose. Wait, seriously? What? Are you scared to lose now, little boy? In history of weakness or something? Oh ho ho! Well, I have you know that I was the teacher's pet in every single one of my history classes. And I'll have you know that I was, no matter the subject, showing with praise from every single master that I ever had. Okay, if that is how you want to play it, I'll have you know that I was a person in other classes too. I did great in art lessons, pretty good in math too. I was just being humble because I didn't want to steal your thunder, little Chinchun. Oh ho ho! Well then, let me tell you that I've trained in the mastery of at least 10 different disciplines every single day. And on one of those days, you know what one of my masters told me? He said... I see now why they selected Sinclair for this role. Looks like Miss Chinchun's finally getting a feel of how friendship close in her age are forged in school. That's good. No matter how excellent her masters were, there's some experience that you just can't learn from teachers alone. True. I tick-tock in response. This is year 505! This is the historic communication consequence of the most illustrious battle that Fixer True Fae is said to have partaken in. Allow me to impart to thee a major clue, if thou had paid attention to, as I discorded upon the 5 pillages in which the Fixer True Fae was mentioned. This should not be difficult of a question to answer. The honorable Fixer of the Cerebral Heaven, who attained triumph in Battle of the Reno Tree in year 465, had said what was the worst ordeal she had to face in her career. I got it! It was when she had forgone oneself, despite watching her dear comrades fall one by one, as they held the lines to buy her time. Damn it! I was too slow! Fie, Yong Ren. Thou art incorrect. What? Honorable Fixer of the Cerulean Heaven is recorded to have testified that the worst ordeal in her career was when she was forced to stand before her enemies with a hair that was not luscious, as a supply line breakage caused her regular delivery of nutrient supplements to cease. What thou hast suggested, Young Chinchun, was her 17th most difficult ordeal. Is she a Ricardo or something? She speaks like she was actually there. Thine impression is quite understandable, for I am trained in the way of vividly regaling these tales, but most of these are tales that I have learned from books myself. Much did I anticipate an opportunity to regale these tales to such an audience, enough to study the way of minstrels. The what? There was a clear look of pride in her twinkling eyes. The hell are those Power Rangers figures? I guess it is. Well, at the very least it increased their moods. It's such a waste, oh! She's gonna lose 30 moral points. We could have spent it with your sake. We could have spent it with your sake. What the hell? Now then, what was the secret technique Honorable Fixer Lysander employed in his resolution of the case of Fae's Forest? Speak its name in full. I've got it! It's the Summer Night Fantasia thing? Yet I cannot let pass such unmotivated retail of such a super ultimate move here. Hardly could one initialize the truth noble spirit of a fixer by simply reciting it with such an apathy. Thou must recreate the face exact pose and an enunciation of every single words as well. What? Are you kidding me? Whew. Come on. You got this. I can do it. You can do it. This is nothing. Wait. Wait, how do I... Can I turn this... But then again, I think this is perfect enough. I don't need to hide it. It's a thumbnail! It's a perfect thumbnail! Oh god! I said rodeo over there! God damn it! It's perfect! It's perfect! Illumination of midnight summer night shall devour the whole! Summer night! FANTASIA! Seriously? Thine enunciation was quite shaky upon the words illusional, yet thou hast demonstrated sufficient courage. Thus I bestow upon thee this badge. She got it! She got the first badge! I grow tired of this nonsense. Just how much longer are you planning to drag this on? This murders the hero, and then, thus declared, I shall tear this evil storm of thunder and find a place for this blade at the center of their very hearts. Dante, lights, left side. Okay. Dawn, who was watching Sinclair and she had shown two-person play, silently wiped her tears away. Bravo! Certainly, minor details were missed, such as that sure fate the fixer was left-handed, and that he had a habit of playing with a lighter in his left pockets before every duel. Yet, that was a wonderful reenactment indeed. I have no other criteria to impart upon thee at all. When faced with great adversary in thine adventure, rekindle the memories of you and Faye, the fixer's final duel, and remember it well. Thus cometh to an end the lesson to the day. Okay, well, it was for a moment, but I think I'm starting to get this. I get why she's obsessed with fixers now. Clutching tightly in Shinchun's hands were the badges that Dawn had gifted to her. They have a bunch of lessons to teach. About morals, about doing the right things, even if some of those stories are probably twisted to paint a better picture, but they have some very valuable lessons to teach us. 15 Ren. That's good. And then his thing comes around. Another 33. We're already at 100 Sen. That's good. Now we have Faust. More HP is always good to have. So I already know that I need to bring this thing for a combo, right? They already showed that in a tutorial. But I guess there are a bunch of more additional combos waiting for us. Okay. I'm just gonna include Dawn as well, because we need to keep the morals high at all times. Right? At all times. Begin the lesson. Huh? This is a component part taken from the structure that forms H-Corp. This may prove to be an opportunity to conduct an in-depth analysis on the nature of former H-Corp singularity, which has been enduring for such a long time. You look kinda upbeat today, Miss Faust. Indeed, an opportunity to study the old H-Corp singularity is not really one that someone comes often by. As there was potentiality for integration into Miss Fistulas, I made a request to disassemble a part of the bus engine, but I guess that was denied. Truly a shame. Wait, aren't you the one who built the Mephisto's door, Miss Faust? Couldn't you just do it if you wanted to? But to be fair, I have a feeling that all the Faust are involved in this. She's just one little Faust in the masses. Mephistopheles is indeed Faust's work, but not all of it was mine. It is possible that Faust may never reveal every small detail that went into its creation. I would very much enjoy a chance to completely disassemble it, even its engine, so that it could be reassembled or rather reassembled by my own hands. Yeah, sure, he doesn't quite understand this. But he doesn't have to. He doesn't need to know about the gazelle. Shh. What? Oh no, you broke it! At very least we got a lot of wisdom out of it. Fixed Association Encyclopedia. A combo of Don and Yaseng. Oh, that's good. So that is how it works. I think I'm starting to get it. I didn't think this is how I get to learn more about the old age cup though. I don't think I can do much against the reconstruction dates right now, but this knowledge will certainly come in handy when the day comes for me to gradually dismantle that inquisitive thing. The day when Hongyuan can be a place where people can live without fear. Without the fear of the encroaching reconstruction days. Without obsessively counting their rooms to see if they've fallen or not. Until Hongyuan can be a place where you can sleep with the promise of safe tomorrows. I'm sure you will pull it off. For sure. One day at least. And I learned a lot during this lesson too, Miss Faust. What did you break? Faust! Faust! I guess the voltage must have been set to high. Repeated experiments with a different combination of fuses and wires. Are you actually teaching us though? I mean, it kinda seems like you just wanna run an experiment here. I guess that's a lesson to be learned in that as well, but still. There was supposed to be a lesson somewhere, right? She's trying her best. She's definitely trying her best. Okay, we get more Ren, that's good. We're kinda lacking on courage though. At the very least our morals get boosted back to max, so that's good. And Dawn has become an expert. Okay, now she recovers 40 of her stats. And she got another stash resistance. Next up, I kinda wanna include Dawn again, but it doesn't feel necessary at this point. Instead, I'm just gonna add Faust again. Can I not select Gregor twice? I guess this thing comes back again. Yep. Gregor, Faust, Seng. Have fun, guys. Unlike some other classes, which were more on the upbeat side of things. The room's air felt grim and solemn as soon as everyone saw what Gregor had written on the sharpboard. On war. Losing a winged war leaves a much larger, longer-lasting impact than some medium-sized enterprises closing up their shops. It might be too soon to talk about this, but we came pretty darn close to one recently, didn't we? That's true. We were this close to a large-scale war breaking out right here at our doorsteps, which absolutely would have happened if Miss Sinchun were to fail to finish her ascension. It would have spread like a wildfire too. So my class is going to be about what exactly happens when a war... Oh. The price of chalk slipped from Gregor's finger as he went to scribble something on the board. Not the price, but it was a piece, I guess. His left hand was trembling as though the room's temperature had plummeted only for him. Man, why is it gotta... Excuse me. Masilu, is it alright for me to smoke? Go ahead. He probably needs it because this is a difficult topic for him as well. Are you alright? Well, when else am I going to get a chance to share the reality of war right to a chief's wing, executive officer's face, right? These moments just don't come off your skin, you know? no matter how hard you try to scrub at them. Hey, take a break if you need it. I'm going to listen to every word that you have to say here today, no matter how long it will take. Man, do appreciate the sentiment. Well, still though, I can't dilly-dally when Miss St. John's got other stuff to deal with as well, right? So, let's take a look at how things were at the beginning of the Wings War. Well, I guess at the beginning it wasn't so bad. It could have been better, but still. Hey, she gets some courage and more humanity. That's good. We were a little bit lacking on that department. And that is why the Smoke Wars front were mostly characterized by trenched warfare. No one wanted to risk fighting in concrete jungles where they could be surrounded by enemies at all times, huh? So everyone tried to draw each other out into an open field battle, which naturally they turned at a trench warfare instead. Of course, every wing has different singularities, so this isn't really applicable to all the cases. It's just that the former G-Corp found flat plains easier to maneuver in. I feel like Dang Yuan could make a pretty good use of Hong Yuan as a defensive fortress, especially with its internal structure constantly shifting around, which the Haishu knows and use very well. Exactly. This should explain why they were hesitant outside of Dang Yuan. Remember the Thumbs fellas, right? The one that we've met who were going in circles. Not to mention how the Haishus all utilize topography of Hong Yuan differently, even if an outsider were to get a read on how one of the branches maneuver around Hong Yuan. As long as the 12 Haishu branches are standing, Hong Yuan is unassailable. I mean, we even heard about the rabbit hole, right? Or Silu, the shortcuts that probably only she can use. Well, despite going on into all of that, I'm sure we all know what's the best answers to all warfares, right? Not having a wall at all. True. Well, I'm going to be honest here. Can't stop thinking about some of these stories that you've been telling us. I can't even imagine what it would have been like to have to not only witness it, but go through all of that. Well, we did visit to Fathom Gregor, but that wasn't even the tip of the iceberg. True. Especially once they started to deform and turn into insects. Walls must have been crumbling at that point. The city was devoured in smoke, the citizens in madness. He'd always shrug off these stories as ramblings of the past, but during the war, he stood at the center of the heartless machine that was the city. Its every gear's calibration to slaughterhouse precision to maximize the deaths of its people. There, he must have witnessed things far worse than the worst of the city presently has to offer. His eyes gazed beyond the veil of bygones past, shaking relentlessly in pursuit of what was no more. Oh boy. Well, sorry fellas. I'm afraid I got carried away lamenting what has happened, that I forgot that this was supposed to be a class, right? I'll be sure to prepare something more useful during the next lesson. No. Everything that you've told me really solidified my resolve. This chaos within Hong Yuan needs to come to an end soon, lest something so horrible could happen again. I'm heading to my next class now. Hey, wait for me! I guess it sticked. That's good. Even after the two students have left, Gregors lingers into that room for a while, lighting up cigarettes after cigarettes, without erasing that he wrote on the chalkboard. Smoke soon fills the room. He left only after almost emptying the entire pack. Yep, that was definitely really difficult for him. Extremely difficult. So, is Faust going to master her teaching soon? Seems like they need at least 3 lessons for it. Oh god! His saying needs a 4th one? Alright, I can work with that. Okay, I kinda wanna level up Faust first. But after that, we need to go back to Dawn. This is really important. Let me double check the combos really quickly. That is a combo. Okay. But I need to keep morals in check. They need to be risen as much as I can. Hey there, Hong Lu. It seems like you brought a friend. That's nice. So, how are classes going, Chin Chin? I'm not you, big brother. I, at the very least, pay attention to my classes. Oh, hey! Hello there, Mr. Yu. She was really insistent on helping me out today, even though I refused because she looked preoccupied. But maybe she just wants to make sure that he's doing a good job. The moment that I found out about the contents of his lessons plans, I simply could not allow him to do this alone, you know? Okay. Well, looks like it's going to be another serious lesson today. Apologies for the delays of the greetings. Dayu of the Lin family formally extends her greeting to the venerable Hayek. Well, it's been a while since I heard that greeting round here. Oh, she doesn't like it. But wait, what about Big Sister Bao Chai? Are you sure that she's okay for a Chu family's bodyguard to be here? I'm actually no longer employed as Miss Bao Chai's guard. Oh. Wait, don't tell me that you got fired! Everything that I did that day, including accompanying you, was under Miss Bao Chai's orders. As for why she no longer needs my service, that I don't understand myself. She suddenly let me go after the trouble was over. Maybe that is her way of shielding you. You know? I mean, considering that you got caught by the snake. So, what is there for you to teach me, big brother? Your last lesson plan about not making things awkward got weeded out by Silos, so... You could have taught me a thing or two, like, you know, if we were still kids. But come on, you spent most of your time stuck in Hongyua or at Qingchua before leaving Hongyua. I don't really know what you could possibly have to teach me, so... Oh, don't you worry, Qingchun. This is the one thing that I'm pretty good at. My lesson for Qingchun and Sinclair is... In clear, neat handwriting, Hong Lu wrote "Surviving in Hongyua" on the chalkboard. Oh, well, I don't really think I need any help in that department. Look, I know that you had your shares of assassination attempts, big brother, but the previous Hayek and the elders favored sheltered you from the worst of it, didn't they? Well, she's not wrong about that, but when we had to fight our way through the bunch of sweepers, weren't you also one of the handfuls who got assassinated? Oh, that! You know, I was just wandering the hallways, because I felt like something was off about my room. Until Dante told us all to go back to our rooms, of course. Of course. It's my fault that he died. Wait! That was my fault! Yes, of course! He wouldn't have been caught! He just followed our orders! Ah! Well, you do have some intuitions, I'll give you that. Looks like I'm going to have to prove myself first. Dayu, would you mind preparing the thing? The thing? You have my utmost faith, but please, do practice caution. Sometime later, Lin Dayu appeared with 4 bowls, splishing with tea, before sprinkling some powders into one of them. What was that? That powder was wolfsbane. I see where this is going. You're going to teach me how to tell which of these bowls contain the poison, right? Well, you can already stop now. I learned to recognize infamous poison like wolfbane when I was 7, so... If it was something as tame as what you were suggesting, Venerable Hayek, I would have not been here to accompany him here. Lin Dayu continues her process, sprinkling wolfbane powder into 2 more bowls. Hong Lu, who was watching that with an oddly content expression, closed his eyes. Please mix them up, Dayu. What? Wait, why? We stared in confusion, but we could hardly tell what was going on with the speed at which Lin Dayu swapped around the bowls. When we looked back at Honglu, there were 3 silver spoons in his hand. Those silver spoons were custom made of Dang Yuan's request, and must-have item for children of the 4th grade houses. They can detect non-sulfuric poison as well. Yeah, I know about that. They're actually... Actually what? It's nothing. I guess there's a history behind their making. In Hongyuan, we are besieged by threats of assassination from all of our directions. Knowledge alone isn't enough to save you at that point. And what the heck are you? But Honglu opened his eyes before Jie Chun was finishing her sentence. Then he threw the silver spoon in his hand, like throwing pins, towards the 3 bowls, and immediately shook the 4th bowl, which he hadn't thrown the spoon at. Wait, holy crap, are you insane? You barely even checked any of them! Maybe he didn't need to check. Maybe he already knew. His intuition is on point, huh? Jiren's new tea is always delicious, even when cooled. The 3 silver spoon Honglu has casted earlier were slowly melting away after quickly becoming tarnished black. Is wolfbane poison supposed to melt through metal now? People like to be thorough with their poison in Dang Yuan. Since everyone's been trained for immunity since childhood, you have to make a mixture of various poison to have a real effect. I see. Fine, I don't even want to argue with that. So what's the secret? I want to know that too. Did they sound different or something? I just went for my hunch here. Hunch! Just a hunch! That was a 24% chance! You could have died! Are we supposed to learn any of that? That's literally luck! We're not Heathcliff here, you know? Well, you get the hang of it after a few tries. If you aren't dead by then. I'll help you out. Shall we begin with 2 bowls instead? Seriously? Oh my god. I saw right through every assassination attempt that Honglu has prepared. They certainly get a lot of experience out of it. I see. When you say that you've avoided whatever went wrong with a hunch, you were reflectively identifying the threat by reading the room and connecting it to your intuition experience. You were using Mr. Yu's anxious breath as a clue, didn't you? So this is how you managed to survive for so long. Listen carefully, Chin-chun. I know that the outlet of each Haisho will come to your aid with a flick of your wrist. And I know that your residence, Muan Qinghuao, will be engineered by the best craftsmen to become a safe fortress, stoked to the brim with all kinds of useful ballast to protect all of your lives. Even still, there will come a day when you start to feel this creeping sensation whose origin you can't identify. And when it does, I hope that you won't brush off that sensation as if it was nothing. You're worrying over nothing here. Ye Chun whipped around away from Honglu, as if to express dissatisfaction, but her softened expression told me that she was glad to see him worry. Of course you would be glad. Her brother finally shows interest in her. For years he was trying to achieve that, but he was so busy constantly smiling for others that he couldn't do that. Well, either way, seems like everything is going well. Mood is okay, but that's fine. Dawn is around the corner to boost it up again. Look at her go! Look at her go! Back to maximum, just the way we like it.